Here's the problem. We know how many genes there are in the human genome. There are 20,000 genes. We know how many organs there are in a body. There are 80 organs. And yet in the 21st century, we don't know how many individual cell types make up the brain, or the lung, or the kidney, or the joint. And so there's a big problem if we're trying to move from genes to organs if we don't understand the bit in the middle, which is the cells that make up those organs, because genes make proteins which work on cells, and cells make organs. And so the Human Cell Atlas is basically an international consortium trying to answer that question: how many individual cell types make up different organs? A similar thing happened with the Human Gene Project, the Human Genome Project, where there was an attempt to find out whether there really were 5,000 genes, 100,000 genes, or 20,000. And that delivered at the turn of the last century, around 2000, and has really revolutionized our understanding of the total complexity of the human genome. There were a lot of arguments at the time as to how many genes there would be, and bets were placed. So we can do the same for how many cells there would be to make up a brain, for example. And so the Human Cell Atlas has been funded by organizations, primarily the Wellcome Trust in the UK and in the US. And the MRC had a separate call, which we were lucky to be part of, and we were awarded £500,000 to join into this Human Cell Atlas, specifically looking at the important components of the cells that make up joints. And we're going to look at 4 particular joints that are important clinically, so the shoulder, the knee, the fingers, and the spine. And we're going to look at 4 particular cell types that we think are very relevant. Those are the cells that make up the synovium, the bone and parts of the tendon where it inserts into the bone, and also the important parts of what we call the enthesis and capsule involved, for example, in frozen shoulder. And finally, cartilage, which is very important perhaps in osteoarthritis. It's an important question, we think, and it's basically composed of 3 universities: Oxford, Birmingham, and Leeds. So an exciting time. We hope we'll get the answer in the next 5 years, and being part of this consortium puts Oxford on the map.